What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the Gemini Jets September 2021 releases. Well, I don't know how to provide an intro for this release video. I don't really have anything that I've come up with for an intro with this, but yeah, Gemini has been kind of on a hot streak this year. A lot of good releases, only a couple bad ones, or just kind of meh, at least for me anyways. January and February, those two, not really of my greatest interest, and then a little bit of July as well. But all the other months up to this point have been really great. I think I've gotten one model from at least every release, or at least pre-ordered, because I have, like for example, the Eastern 767, that I ordered later on because they were still in stock. There will definitely be more that I will get as time goes on, and if I'm able to get a few more models leading up to Christmas, but we'll see. So, I don't know what they're going to do this month. Obviously, there's a couple great options that Gemini could do. The American Eagle Embraer 170 with the Envoy Retro livery, that has obviously been suggested to them a few times. I've personally made a suggestion myself to Gemini Jets, so they are completely aware that they do have to make it at some point. I wouldn't expect it to come out this month, probably towards the end of the year, I would think. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I think another one would be Freedom 1. They have teased at pictures of that, and also with the UNCF 737-900. But I have heard that those are not going to be released until the end of the year, so towards December and into January of 2022. I would think that's when Gemini will plan on announcing those models. But, I mean, there's still plenty of good models that Gemini can do. So many good options for them, and I would hope they choose the right ones, so that way I can still get a couple more models yet. But we'll see what happens. We'll cut over to the Gemini Jets September 2021 releases now. Okay, the Gemini Jets September 2021 releases are out. We're going to go ahead and start with the 1-200 releases, as is the tradition here on this channel, and we'll work our way up. First one is a Varig MD-11 in a very old livery. I can't confirm this is a retro livery. This is the primary livery that they had at the time. I would think maybe it's the primary livery, just because the MD-11 is kind of that mix between old and new, depending on which airline it was operating for. So like Delta had some MD-11s with the very old widget livery, and they went all the way up until the Ron Allen paint scheme, and even up to Colors in Motion, or the Delta Flot, or Wavy Gravy. That's kind of an interesting release. Next up, as the image tries to load here. Next up, we have a Southwest 737 MAX 8. So the registration of this one is November 8730 Quebec. They've done a couple of these in 1-400, and I think they've done one in 1-200 as well. So that is a little bit of an interesting release. Definitely a re-release I would consider, if you did miss out on some of the previous releases of this aircraft. Next up, we have a Royal Australian Air Force C-130 with a special 100th anniversary sticker on the tail, or just like a special tail, if you will. But the rest of the aircraft is in a, I guess, normal Royal Australian Air Force livery with like that wavy gray line down towards the bottom of the aircraft. Next up, we have a Lufthansa Airbus A320neo. They did this back in July in the 1-400 section. And now, 1-200 collectors have a chance to get a Lufthansa A320neo in 1-200 if they don't have one yet. I think the Neo engines are a lot better on 1-200 than they are in the 1-400 section. Next up, we have a Delta 727. I believe this is a -200, I want to say. I should probably check the website real quick. Yeah, it is a 200. Wearing the Ron Allen paint scheme, and I know a couple people that really, really wanted this in 1-200, so I'm sure those guys will be ecstatic to see this be released. It is an interesting livery for sure. I do have the 777-200ER and the 767-300ER in that exact livery. I definitely do need to pick up more of those because I like that livery on some of the newer aircraft. Next up, we have a Bonanza DC-9. This is probably one of the older DC-9 variants. I'm going to say this is like a -10 or 15. But very interesting airline. They are, looks like an American registered. It's an American registered aircraft. I'm not sure where it came from, or if this is just like, you know, Bonanza took this straight out of the factory. But that's kind of an interesting airline. Never seen that one before. Okay, I'm having some technical difficulties here. It looks like some of the images are not loading properly, so I am going to try some other things in order to get the images to load quickly, so I don't have to make so many cuts in editing. So I do apologize for the technical difficulties that I'm currently having. That's just kind of what happens when you try to record YouTube videos. American Eagle CRJ 900 and 1200. I was going to mention that I moved on over to Google Chrome. Normally I use Safari on my phone so that I can pull up the new releases page and then pull up the images as I go on. But yeah, American Eagle CRJ 900 and 1200 scale. Same registration and everything like they did in 1400 back in April for the American Eagle CRJ 900. Next up, we have the Alaska 737-900ER. This is with the UNCF Special Livery. They have teased 1400 releases of both this and Freedom 1. I have heard, as I did mention at the beginning of this video, I should say, I did hear that those 1400 releases are not going to be released towards the end of the year, I don't think. So that would be around the December-January 22 window. That's just my guess, based off what I heard from another collector. And then finally, to round out the 1200 releases, we have a Air Canada Airbus A220 with the Trans-Canada Airlines retro livery. They used to have this on an Airbus A319, but I think they might have repainted it at this point, or they might have gotten rid of that aircraft. So it is nice to see that they've transferred this over onto a newer aircraft. Looks like it is a Dash 300. Would like to see them make this in 1400. That'd be really cool to get. Alright, so 1200 releases, kind of a mixed bag of interesting stuff, so not like mixed bag in a bad way, but just like a mixed bag of some interesting variety of all types. We'll move on over to the 1400 releases. We got no military releases this month. First up, we have a UPS 757-200, and this is with the updated Worldwide Services titles. I do have their 2017 release of it. That is on the older mold. If I were really that nitpicky about mold quality and all that stuff, which I'm not really that much like that, I would definitely pick this up and then just get rid of my older UPS 75 that I have. But yeah, this does have the Rolls-Royce engines. I think mine has the Pratt & Whitney engine, so maybe that's why they did it, just for the Rolls-Royce engine. So I don't know. That's kind of interesting. Next up, we have a Turkish Airlines 7879. Actually, no, it might be a Dash 10. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I should probably check the website again. Okay, it is a Dash 9, so I was right about that. And it is a flaps down release. So we do have a flaps down release for 1400 this month. As I would expect, the next release would be a regular wing configuration release, which it is. So pop on over to the next one. The next one will be, there it is, Southwest 737 MAX 8. And this is the same registration that they did in 1200, 8730 Quebec. So I believe this is now their third or fourth release of the MAX 8. I have their second. So I think it'd be their third release, because I have their second, which would be 8705 Whiskey, I think. I did get that one back in 2018. Unfortunately, the wing was detached on that one. Hopefully that one doesn't have the same issue these days. Next up, we have a Southern Air DHL 777 freighter with the flaps down configuration. That's pretty cool. I think this is only the second time that they have done a flaps down 777 in 1400. The other one being the China Airlines Cargo 777 back in April. And then the next release will be a regular wing configured 777. Moving on, we have another Hawaiian Airbus A321neo. This is kind of interesting. A 205 Hotel Alpha, so this will probably have their special Hawaiian Airlines box, which they started doing a couple years ago. The Hawaiian A321neo that I have does not have the special box art. It's just the standard blue, dark blue Gemini Jets box. We have a Delta A350-900, and this is with the Delta Spirit sticker and is a flaps down release. So I would expect the next release to be a regular wing configured Delta A350-900 with the Delta Spirit sticker. And I'm trying to talk long enough so that way I don't have to make a cut to kind of compensate, because I cannot get the image to load properly. I'm not sure what the deal is with this today. This is interesting. Cayman Airways, another MAX 8 release. I did see Cayman Airways when I was in New York. I think I saw one of their older 737s. I do not think they had the MAXes at the time. They might have just taken delivery of them, because obviously the groundings and all that stuff kind of hindered that. So it looks like it's their first 737 MAX. I would expect this is probably relatively new. Move up the list. We have an Avianca Airbus A321neo. They haven't done Avianca that much on 1400, I don't think. Maybe I'll have to pick this one up because I am looking to expand on my Mexican fleet a little bit, so I think that Avianca would be an interesting place to start. Of course, I do have the Volaris as well, which that was a scratch and dent. I probably should have bought one that was in good condition because buying scratch and dents is kind of like a roll the dice thing where you just don't know if it's going to come broken or not. Next up, we have a interactive series, Atlas Air 747-400 freighter. Oh, this is a 400. Goodness me. So it looks like their 747-400 interactive series in 1400 has finally arrived. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really wanting to try out the interactive series. I've kind of bashed on it a little bit just for the fact that it's kind of a silly gimmick, but I should probably try it out myself before I have a real opinion on it. Moving up, we have the Alaska Oneworld. So they have finally decided to release Alaska Oneworld, the 739, the same registration that NG did. I already have the NG, so obviously this will be an easy skip for me. And then finally, to round out releases, we have the UNCF 739. I think I will skip on this as well. I have not pre-ordered the NG. Looks like that's about it. So I think this will be another month I can probably skip. It's not a bad release in any way. I'm not trying to say that it's a bad release. It is definitely a great release, like with the Southwest Max A, the Delta A350, and then the two Alaska 739s. In case you missed out on the NG or just have a preference for the Gemini release, that's totally fine. The Hawaii Neo, the Cayman Max 8, that's kind of interesting. UPS 75 with the Rolls-Royce engines, a Turkish Airlines 7879 flaps down. That's pretty nice. 1200 is also pretty good. Obviously, Southwest Max 8. The Delta 727, that really piques my curiosity. And then have two... Oh, I missed an American release. Holy cow. I missed an American 737 Max 8. Looks like it was the same registration that they did in 1400 last month, so I did skip over that release, but I do not think I missed anything with the 1400s, which looks like I did not. And one more thing before I end the video, because this is something that I've noticed within the last couple of months. There are some people out there that have had kind of an issue with Gemini Jets and the fact that they are releasing a lot of American stuff and not a whole lot of European or Asian models. The thing that you have to understand is that Gemini Jets, they cannot satisfy every single market with every single release. I assume they're only allotted so many models to release per month. It's probably set by themselves, just because they don't want to like blow their budget or whatever, however that works. So they can only release so many models, and they have to choose just based off on popularity, how much the community wants it, and all that other crap. I don't know. There's probably a lot more factors that go into how they decide which models to release, but I mean, if you don't like these releases, it's just easy to skip on them and just kind of move on. There's always going to be a next month, even if it's like, a month later than normally is. So, for example, if they skip October, there's going to be November. But, again, I'm sure the European collectors, you guys, the European and Asian collectors, you guys will get a really great release at some point. You just have to be patient. I just kind of wanted to get that off my chest because I have seen that a little bit. But that's pretty much all I have. So with that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.